Come on, bitch, let's go. Come on, get ready, bitches. You haven't seen nothing yet. Come on.
Valentino, Versace, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I got money to burn. I'm single and I'm naughty.
Come on.
Tiffany's, Cartier, Gucci, Armani.
Come on.
Break out your black card, boys. It's time to party.
Hi, you guys. I hope you had a great week.
Come on.
I've been under a lot of stress because we find out what boarding school John gets into this weekend. And as you guys know, this has been a really incredible journey of my son having to perform at such a supreme level, you know, being president of his middle school and a straight A student. And he's had to join many clubs and really excel at calculus because he wants to be an engineer. And, you know, he's put himself through a ridiculous admissions procedure, you know, like almost like you're applying to Harvard or something for these schools. And because his dad doesn't support him, we have to get 100% financial aid for him to be able to go. But he has an extraordinary mind, so we're fighting for it. But oh my gosh, has it been so much work and time and stress. And it's all coming down to this weekend. In fact, when this episode comes out, I'll already know the answer. John's dream is to go to MIT. And in order to get into MIT, you have to kind of be the top of the country in terms of your, especially math skills. John had to take the SSATs and score in the 90% in the country just to qualify for these schools. And MIT, I'm sure, would be even harder at the SAT level because John, I should mention, after all this, is only in 8th grade. So it's, you know, it's a really character building experience for both him and I. And I'm just asking you guys as you listen to the show today to send us some light and love.
You go where?
Harvard. Law school.
You got into Harvard Law?
What, like it's hard?
And hope that his dream is going to come true. In order for you to get a full ride at boarding school, you have to apply to the top 10 in the country because really they are the only ones that will pay $58,000 plus a year for a child to attend their schools if they are in that top percentile of the country in terms of their academics and their testing, etc. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but you have to be the very, very best of the best in order to get that kind of support in the U.S. So anyway, we could use your extra wishes and thoughts towards John and all of his hard work that he's done to achieve this extraordinary goal. And since Kyle Richards made fun of me when I was encyclopediaing my son in season 2 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and teaching him math, you know, and how to read by 1, which he did achieve, I wanted to say that I'm really proud of those weird things I did because my son turned out to be extraordinarily gifted. And I'm not sure if that had to do with training that I did when he was a baby and that, but I don't regret it. I'll tell you that right now. And so I wanted to share that with you. So you guys might try it with your babies and grandbabies, encyclopedia training and reading in a non-phonetic way. It's pretty cool. You read by memorization. I just wanted to share that with you. Eat your heart out, Kyle.
I've waited so long to hear you say that. But if I'm going to be a partner in a law firm by the time I'm 30, I need a boyfriend who's not such a complete bonehead.
But I would like John to date Portia. Because she was a good little girl. She was so sweet.
Come on, bitch, let's go.
On today's show, I want to talk to you about what happened with Tish Cyrus and her daughter, which is absolutely gross. I want to give you my take on Kate Middleton. I did tell some of the patrons my theory that are in the higher levels of the Patreon, but I wanted to share it with the whole group now and also wanted to comment on her sighting the other day, which you guys know we were talking about in the chat. There's a lot of thoughts around that. And dear old Uncle Gary, yes, Kate Middleton's Uncle Gary is joining Celebrity Big Brother, and Everyone's afraid of the tea he'll spill. And then, of course, Teresa Giudice's financial troubles that are seemingly coming out in the teaser of season 14. And there's some indicators behind the scenes that maybe something's off. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that as well. So that's going to be our show today. I hope you enjoyed as I deep dive these topics, and let's get going. So Noah Cyrus is 24 years old, and she grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. She is Tish Cyrus and Billy Ray Cyrus's youngest child. And she has other half siblings and stuff because the family is pretty big. She's only 24 years old, and in her very short life, she's done quite a lot of different things. She started acting at 2 years old on her dad's TV show, Doc. She made several appearances as background dancers and other bit parts in Hannah Montana, the movie with Miley, obviously. That was a huge hit. She did a few episodes of Hannah Montana on the Disney Channel. She even made an appearance on American Horror Story. But as you would imagine, her real talent is singing, which of course she gets from her very musical family, and she has a fantastic voice. One of her most famous songs that she ever did that did make the top Billboard was Good Cry. And she really should be way more famous than she is based on her talent, honestly. And like most 24-year-old girls, I'm sure she's getting into loads of trouble. She's dated many musicians, and I'm sure a few heartbreaks here and there in between all of that. She seems to act a lot older than her age, which I would say comes from the very fast lifestyle that she's been thrust into because of her mom, Tish Cyrus. We're going to get to her in a minute. And of course, her closeness to her sister, Miley Cyrus. Now, Miley Cyrus has gone on a bunch of different shows and talked deeply about how she had partied her ass off with her parents and had a really mixed up kind of upbringing with her mom and dad. And they weren't really parental over her. They were more like brothers and sisters that she hung out with. So her parents don't parent was the bottom line from these different appearances that Miley Cyrus did. And I have done a deep dive on Miley Cyrus, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that here. But suffice it to say that I think Noah Cyrus probably partied her ass off with her sister Miley and experienced a similar thing that Miley Cyrus did with her parents. So it wasn't really surprising to me to find out that Noah Cyrus was dating a much older man, in fact, older than me, if you can imagine.
As if.
And was dating him for a period of time and took this man home, a British actor, famous a little bit, to her family. And I guess in the process of her hanging out with him and her family, somehow her mom, who's closer in age to this man than her daughter Noah, starts to fall for him. And unbeknownst to Noah, starts to secretly see him, but not at the same time. At least that's what Tish says. And Noah and him break it off over time, but she's still interested in him, as you would as a young girl, you know, dating an older guy. He's going to run the show. And she was obviously smitten by the guy, so she kind of fell for him. And then it didn't work out, and she was like, oh, well, and moves on. But then she comes to find out that her mom has been having a secret relationship with this man. Talk about a horrific thing to do to your own daughter. And the word on the street was that sometimes Tish Cyrus competes a little bit with her daughters, and that maybe there was something at play with that in all of this. It's really wild stuff. It's really incredible to me that a mom would prioritize a relationship with a man over her daughter's well-being and sleep with somebody who slept with her daughter. It's so gross. So the British actor who came in between Tish Cyrus and Noah Cyrus, mother and daughter, is a man named Dominic Purcell. And as I mentioned, he's an English actor, but he has citizenship in Australia too, and Ireland. And probably his most notable thing you would remember him from would be a few seasons of Prison Break. He also was in Mission Impossible too. Malibu. He played one of, I think, the sidekicks to Tom Cruise's main agent character. But the big question on my mind is, how is a man who's 54 years old having a fling with Noah Cyrus, who's in her early 20s? Like, I want to say probably 22 when he's dating her. It's kind of odd. And you'd think that Tish Cyrus would have been like, why are you seeing this older man, Dominic? It's very bad for your mental health as a young lady, you know? But I don't know. Maybe they just don't parent. But I want to say this. Noah has had, since 2018, trouble with downers and depression. So another reason that Trish should be treading lightly around Noah's men, if for no other reason than that, knowing her daughter's delicate. So Dominic is, I think, 54. Tish is 56. So they're very close in age range. And obviously Noah is way, way too young for him. So it's not like he should have ended up with Noah. But at the same time, I think Tish should have avoided this man. There's plenty of men available to Tish, right? So why go for this one that had a fling with her daughter, who, by the way, has to be kind of weird to have done that in the first place, just saying. But it gets pretty fishy after this point, because Miley Cyrus said she never knew her mom, Tish, was dating Dominic the whole time, and that Dominic was betraying Noah. But somehow Tish ends up getting married to Dominic at Miley Cyrus's house impromptu with a small service in Malibu, which is a few blocks away from Noah Cyrus's house, because Miley and Noah obviously are tight and they wanted to live close to each other in Malibu and kind of hang out, especially being as famous as they are. They probably have to be a little careful who they hang out with. Miley finds out like the day of the marriage that this is happening, and she's like shocked because she knew Noah had dated Dominic. And although it was just on and off with Noah, Noah didn't know all this was happening with Tish. And it was just shocking. And Tish was like afraid that Noah would find out and come to the Malibu marriage ceremony and disrupt the service. So made sure that there was security to keep anybody that wasn't supposed to be at the wedding out. And I'm assuming that had to do with Noah as well, so that there couldn't be any problems if Noah got wind of it. And so this is just so totally mental. This could have caused a huge wedge between Miley and Noah too, because Noah could have thought Miley was in on it because Tish used her Malibu house to do the ceremony. But I guess that wasn't, Miley went and said that's not the case. But it's so gross. And then you see these pictures of them all over each other, and it's just really unfair to Noah, in my opinion. It's just an awful, selfish thing to do. Anyway, Miley said that she thought the whole thing was weird to her mom, and she did confront her about it, but she said she wasn't going to ice out her mom or stepdad over it, although she thought it was really unusual and strange, and it was kept completely secret away from both Noah and Miley. I mean, a relationship that starts out on a basis of lies and betrayal is never going to end well, because at the basis of that is two people who have that embedded in their character, that they can do that and function from that place. So believe me, they're going to do it to each other. This deception isn't just for the people around Tish and Dominic, it's for each other within their own relationship. Coming to a theater near you.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Now I'm going to play you something and you see if this gets you going about this topic as much as it got me going. Whoa. For the full scoop, join the Dishing Drama Dana Patreon. The link is in this audio description. It's only $6 a month and you'll get the best information and tea about the things you care about, and even the things you don't know you care about. What are you waiting for?